It was my first night in New York City. My parents drove me up to the hotel, to the apartment. I'm not to that story yet. My parents drove me up to the apartment. We got there. We drove up to the glorious Washington Heights, and Jessica comes down the stairs, in her light bulb pajama pants, and is like, "Welcome to the Dream Center, I'm Jessica." I was like, "This is gonna be awesome." And then so I walk up the stairs, we drop off my stuff, and I told the girls, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna stay here tonight. It was the most emotional probably night I've ever had. And I was scared, I was excited, that night I was sad and I was scared. And so we got back in the car, and I just said I was going to stay in the hotel with my parents in Jersey. So it was me, my little brother, my mom and my dad, and we got in the car and we drove to the hotel in Jersey. So we pull up. Turns out it was with an M, not an H. It was a motel. And how many of y'all know when you see a promotion for a hotel and it says they have free color TV and free clean sheets, you should drive on by, right? Well, we pulled in, we went into the check-in, and the guy was like, "We only have a smoking room." I was like, "Awesome," So we go into the room. Whoo! We got in there, and there was one king-size bed for all four of us. And so then I was like, "Okay, I'll feel better if I take a shower, I'll take a hot shower." I get in the shower, the water's like trickling on my head. I'm like, "This is so good." So all in all, that wasn't the situation I had planned for my first night in NYC. How many of you guys have been in a completely chaotic situation but felt God's peace in the middle of it? Because that's what this year has been for me. I have felt God's peace all through this 10 months in the midst of chaos. So that's my first point I have for you guys. I have 3 points. God has just shown his peace so much to me, despite the surroundings, because I can tell you right now, I did not like anything about New York City. I didn't like anything about anything when I was here. I just wanted to go back to Indiana. Like the Michael Jackson song. You like that, Ab-Lib? But I just felt God's peace through it all. And I'm like, "God, why do I have this peace in an apartment with 7 girls? 7 girls. 3 roommates, in the same room, bunk beds, mice rolling around you, you're getting down, you jump down off your bunk bed. It's just crazy." So I didn't know why I felt this peace being in the middle of this craziness. But God just showed himself so faithful, because when you're in the season that God has you in, he always installs that peace. And every one of you right now are in the season that God has you in. You're in it. So I learned to enjoy. Started learning to enjoy. It took a while. About the 9th month, I started enjoying that season. So number 2, my number 2 is I started to be learning to be faithful in the little things, and God would bless me in the big things. And when I started being faithful in those little things, started submitting to leadership, and I started just submitting. But seriously, when I started submitting and doing the little things that God had me, he wanted me, because God knew I had an authority problem. So he started putting those people and everything around me. And everything around me was for a purpose. And I started realizing that and walking in that. So God just had me be little. I don't know what things that are your little things, but mine were submitting to things. Mine were, I'm the type of person that I'm like, "Oh, let me go help this homeless person. Did everyone see I helped him go up the stairs, But it was the integrity. So I needed to start doing it for God, not that everybody else could see it. So I started doing those little things, and God started blessing my socks off. I had past issues that I was still working with. God gave me healing this year for something I had been praying for a year and a half. He just started blessing me. And I remember when I was, this is for sports fans. I remember in high school when I was playing basketball. Oh gosh, I didn't ever think I would talk about this coach again, but I had this coach, and I'd be playing defense, and he would always say, and I would stick my right hand out to get the steal for the pass. I don't know if you guys are with me. People, it's basketball, not football, okay. So a ball, the orange thing. So I would go with my right hand, and he would tell me to go with my left hand. And I was like, Coach, why does that matter? You know, like, and he would say, little things wins championships. And it's funny when you're not even saved and it has nothing to do with this, the little things matter. And for a championship is the trophy that you win at the end of a season. So that's my second thing. My third thing is, this was the biggest thing. When I started to stop worrying about the situation I was in and let God change my heart, that my heart was the real issue. Because God says that everything flows from my heart. And he started changing my heart. I realized it wasn't the situation I was in. It was my heart that wasn't right. So when I started letting God change my heart in these things, he just kept blessing me. And I have a scripture here, and it says, and I will give you a new heart, and I will put a new spirit in you. Amen. I will take out your stony, stubborn heart and give you a tender, responsive heart. And that's what God started to do with me. He just gave me a new heart. He just started giving me a new... So when I had this new heart, I started just walking in that. I started... when he gave me the new heart and I stopped worrying about the situations around me. I don't know if any of you are worried about a situation around you, but you can't control that. Only God can control that situation. And most of the time, when your heart is in it, and your heart probably, mine wasn't right in that situation. If you're aligned with God and your heart's right, that situation doesn't matter. So the situation I was in, it didn't matter. It was my heart. If my heart was right, I wouldn't even been worried. I would be like, I got Jesus. I'm not worried about this. You know, I got Jesus. But I was too worried about the situation, and God was like, it's your heart that's wrong. So that's my third thing. So what am I trying to say? God gave me peace this year when I didn't even think he could. In a completely chaotic situation. God started telling me to focus on the little things so he could bless me. Because God just wants to bless us. God has already put favor over our lives. He wants to heal us. He just wants the best for us. He's on our side. So when I started being faithful in the little things, God started blessing me in the big things. Because our God is a God of details. And he wants us to pay attention to the details. And the third thing is when I started not worrying about the situation and started worrying about my heart and making sure my heart was aligned with God, God just made it happen. So my last thing is, what situation is God asking you to give to him? I'm Monique Moss, and my purpose has been giving God my heart and letting him worry about the situation.